Hi, my name is Jay, and this is number 3 in the series of Book of Mormon videos. Today's subject is Mounds and Earthworks. Over 1 million American Indian mounds once existed in North America. Most have been plowed over and looted, but there are still many mounds remaining. It is estimated that there were once over 1 million mounds in North America. This map contains not a mound, but a mound group for every red dot, as it was documented in the 1890s. Many of these mounds can be recognized as Motte-and-Bailey castles of the common design as used anciently in England and Europe. The Motte-and-Bailey castle is a fortification with a wooden or stone keep, situated on the raised area of ground called a motte, and accompanied by a walled courtyard or place of arms, and also often surrounded by a protective ditch. A motte is an Old English word for mound. In the Book of Mormon they are called forts, and they are described 5 times. In the Book of Alma it says, they fled to Oneida, to the place of arms. Moroni had fortified or had built forts of security for every city and all the land round about. The Lamanites could not get into their forts of security by any other way save by the entrance, because of the highness of the bank which had been thrown up, and the depth of the ditch which had been dug about. The Yankum thought it was not expedient that he should attempt to attack them in their forts. Extensive surveying and drawings of ancient earthworks were published in 1848 in a book called The Ancient Monuments of the Mississippi Valley by E.G. Squire and E.H. Davis, as a formal project for the Smithsonian Institution. It was the Smithsonian's first publication. In this book, 235 ancient earthwork structures were surveyed and drawn. About 10,000 mounds called tumuli were not drawn. The 48 forts were diagrammed, with 4 not diagrammed. In all, 360 pages, 48 lithograph maps and plates, and 207 wooden engravings were completed. Most of the documented earthworks by Squire and Davis centered in Ohio, especially southern Ohio, but also in northern Ohio and northern Kentucky, as shown by the circled area. And here there is a mass burial mound. These type are canonical and peaked at the top and sometimes covered with a type of cement. The mound on the left is in the Netherlands, and it used to have a keep on the top. Nobody ever actually lived there, but it was a place the local population would flee to in times of trouble for defense, a place of security, a place of refuge. The mound on the right is in America, also once a place of security. Again in the Book of Alma, it says, with their swords and slings to smite down all who should attempt to come into their place of security by the place of entrance. They began to contend with the Nephites to get into their places of security, but behold, they were driven back from time to time, insomuch that they were slain with an immense slaughter. The first pioneer settlement in Ohio was the town of Marietta in 1788, at the confluence of the Muskingum and Ohio rivers. The first settlers found there ancient fortifications whose history was totally unknown. When asked, the local Indian tribes also had no idea who built it. At the top left is a drawing of Great Mound. At the top right is a similar mound in Kentucky. In Marietta, a cemetery was established near the Great Mound to help prevent future destruction of the earthworks. Besides the mound or motte fortifications, forts were also built upon flattened hilltops with stone walls. These two are called Fort Hill and Fort Ancient. These earthworks are often impossible to see from the air, but are clearly revealed with LiDAR laser imaging, where the trees are removed by computer. Note that Squire and Davis ground survey and drawings match very close to the LiDAR image. They did a remarkable job. Amazingly, the Book of Mormon gives us wall construction details at the time of Captain Moroni, about 70 BC. The Book of Mormon says, Moroni caused that his army should commence in digging up heaps of earth round about all the cities throughout all the land, which was possessed by the Nephites. And upon the top of these ridges of earth, he caused that there should be timbers, yea, works of timbers built up to the height of a man, round about the cities. And he caused that upon these works of timbers there should be a frame of pickets built upon the timbers round about. They were strong and high. And he caused towers to be erected that overlooked those works of pickets. And he caused places of security to be built upon those towers, that the stones and the arrows of the Lamanites could not hurt them. And they were prepared that they could cast stones from the top thereof, according to their pleasure and their strength, and slay him who should attempt to approach near the walls of the city. Thus Moroni did prepare strongholds against the coming of their enemies, round about every city in all the land. And he caused that they should build a breastwork of timbers upon the inner bank of the ditch, and they cast up dirt out of the ditch against the breastwork of timbers. Unquote. Whereas the wooden timbers are long gone, there are still many remains of berms and ditches. The example shown here from Iowa extend over 9 miles long and existed prior to the earliest settlers. Here we have the Fort Ancient Hilltop Fortification, and in the center a mound group in Louisiana, and finally on the right an enclosed fort with walls in the shape of a menorah and also the shape of a clay lamp. Both of these are Hebrew motifs and totally compatible with the Hebrew origins of the Book of Mormon. Mounds are thought to have been built up over many years by laborers carrying dirt on their backs. Of course, large mounds would grow by being built on previous mounds. The Book of Mormon says, quote, "They would smite them on their cheeks and exercise authority over them, and begin to put heavy burdens upon their backs, and drive them as they would a dumb ass." The large mound group on the right has been almost completely destroyed and is now downtown St. Louis, Missouri. Here are yet 2 more hilltop forts documented by Squire and Davis. There is much, much more than I could ever cover in this short video. So that is all for now. Please like and subscribe. Jay.